This one you could use in the house or out in the yard, however you want to do it. These were out in the yard, so they've been out there about a month getting wet. So the little barbecue, the pink one, is getting a little rusted because it's been out in the weather. And the paint may have not been as good as some other of the paint because it is getting a little rusted looking and faded. And most of my stuff, that little house out there has been out there a couple of years and it still looks great. And it's getting watered every day. So some metal pieces are a little better than others. But anyway, I thought it turned out pretty cute. I used the same container. I used the same little tree. I did throw some rocks, a couple rocks in there. I made a little path out of little pebbles. I had a little piece of slate that I stole from another fairy garden, so I used that for my table and for her to be on, and the dogs. And I got my little animal over here, anyway, an animal. I'm not going to say it correctly. Grandma cannot talk at all. I can't believe it. So, anyway, I thought it turned out pretty cute. This was from Big Lots on their big sale. All the pieces you see in here were $5. $5 for everything. That includes the fairy, the little dogs, the porcupine, that was the word I wanted, porcupine, and the fire, and the the little table, the barbecue, everything. $5. Loved it. That was a steal. And the only thing that doesn't look like it's doing too good on these pieces, because they have been out in the yard. They were in another garden I made for them, but I wanted to bring them over here where it looks a little more better color and stuff. So this is why I brought them over here. They had their own little place. So the top of the little, that's real cloth, and it's starting to look sort of scruffy. So next year I'll take it off and hot glue some new cloth down. I'll probably have to spray paint that barbecue something. I'll just do it pink again, but for it'll be with the pink theme. And instead of having the red and white check, I'll find a little pink check. Pink check will be great, but some kind of pink theme cloth. So this is how it turned out. Thought it turned out pretty cute. And the plant, of course, I already had, so there's no cost for that. The container I didn't have to pay for, so there's no cost for that. The slate I already had, no cost for that. The pebbles I already had, no cost. And that's another thing I do. I move stuff around all over my yard, and I'll steal little pebbles or rocks, or like I have little pieces of slate that I found in the trash. You know, I just find stuff and I bring it home. I'm sure my husband just loves it. And I incorporate it into my fairy gardens and move it around. Just me and him living here, and I don't really worry about the pebbles and the lawnmower because most of the time it's just me. The only time I have to really worry is when the great-grandkids come, because they are very small. Because my oldest great-grandchild, and I'm going to have 5 by December, I'm going to have 5. And my oldest one is only 3. So that's a lot of small children. So we'll see how it goes with my fairy gardens. Occasionally when they do come over, something gets broke, but you know, you cannot get yourself in a state. If you don't want grandkids coming over or great-grandkids coming over, then you're just not going to see them, because this kind of stuff is going to get broke. So I try to just not worry about it. As long as they're not just going around just breaking it on purpose and stuff. Then I'll be getting mad at them. But if they're playing with it and they play a little too rough and something gets broke, oh well. You know, I break stuff all the time myself. I broke one of my favorite fairies 2 or 3 months ago. I was so mad at myself. And I did it all by myself. Nobody had to help me. And I didn't mean to break it. It's just they do. They're very delicate pieces, and they do break easy, so you have to be careful. That's why when I got the idea of the fairy garden for Brooklyn, I got all metal. Now, some of these pieces would do great also for a small child, because this is an all metal table. That would be great. And this little table, you could see, would look great with that house. So that's not even a problem either. And this little barbecue here is all metal, so that would be fine too. So somewhere down the line, I probably am going to start going through all my fairy gardens and interchanging them, and put all the metal and wood pieces to the front of my fairy gardens. So when the great-grandkids come over and they want to play with something, I can go and say, okay guys, these are the ones you can play with. Don't bother Grandma's other things. And that's going to work out better. So a lot of the problems I'm having are 100% my fault. Because I have a very large fairy garden with at least 100 fairy gardens. I think I can manage to move all the breakable stuff to the back of this big giant fairy garden and put all the sturdy things that little kids can play with and you don't have to tell them anything to the front. And that's what I need to do. So this is, like I said, 100% my fault. It isn't like I don't have pieces that they can play with. It's just weird how I am. I just need to get busy and start doing it. When I redo all the fairy gardens, starting the first of the year, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to redo all the real breakable stuff to the back and put all the stuff to the front. And I have been buying more plastic and rubbery type fabrics and stuff for the kids to play with, because I've got, farm animals they can play with now. I have dinosaurs they can play with, because not all my fairy gardens have fairies. And that's another thing. You can make any miniature garden for anyone. You don't have to say, oh, I can't do it because the children will break something. No, you can find plenty of things. You can go into a kid's toy box and make miniature gardens out of their toys. And I do have a series on that where I do every year too. I get a lot of stuff that I've gotten from the end of kids' toy boxes, secondhand stores, Goodwill, McDonald's, a lot of stuff. They had a series that McDonald's had with fairies. I made sure I went and got a Happy Meal every single time they had a new fairy up. And I made all kinds of stuff. And I need to find those pictures and repost them. Not that you can find those fairies, but some of them turned out so good. I have one. No, I don't even want to tell you what it looks like, because I really need to find it and repost it for everyone that hasn't seen it. I've been doing this now for, I think the YouTube maybe like 3 or 4 years. I've been doing the blog for about 5 years, over 5 years. So there's a lot of pictures, a lot of videos. Please go back and check them. You'd be surprised how pretty some of the stuff was. Not everything turned out great. And then now what I do in June, because July is my anniversary for my blog, I do an anniversary 30 fairy gardens in 30 days. Now, not all of them turn out great. I don't want to hear that either. I realize that. But there are a lot of nice ones. And because 30 fairy gardens in 30 days, that's a lot of work to do. So go check those out, because I did 30 this year, and the year before that I did 30. So that's something we're going to be doing every year in June. So and we always do have everyone try to make a fairy garden and post it too. So we're going to be doing that also. So anyway, lots of new things coming up. Hope you enjoy it. Bye-bye for now. I'm going to just keep talking and talking. Don't forget, if you're not already following, start following. Got a lot of new stuff coming up. Bye-bye.